getting the oil out of the front end, the forks, trying to decide how to take this apart without causing too much damage. It's a interesting thing that once they're put together, they're pretty good, but to take them apart, you gotta damage it. You gotta get hold of it with something. So I just gotta figure out what the best path forward here. I'll go check the manuals, have a look around, decide if I have the tools. I've tried a couple of things that I have. I couldn't get a good enough grip on it. So I don't want to beat these up. So I just, because I worry it, then I gotta do something to damage it. So I'll walk away from that. I'll have a look back here, decide if that comes off, which I think it does. I think it does. Because then it will no longer be a roller. So I've got to think this through. It's funny, if you see there's bolts here, this is the frame apparatus. And then there's bolts down here. You take that off, you can leave the swing arm, you got to detach the shock, but you can take that off and still have this sitting here. I kind of like this here right now because I'll eventually, I'm not sure what I'll do with this, paint or chrome or just leave it. The more I look at this, I mean, I'm looking at this frame, just talking to a guy, Neil, the other day, and I like the idea of doing sort of a resto mod and cleaning it up quite a bit. And doing a new paint job on the tank and the fairings and stuff. And probably this piece here. And very possibly the swing arm. But the main part of the frame, leave it original paint, leave it old, so that you've got this beautiful dressed up babe, and she's still old school under the dresses, under the knickers. So I like that. See, these machines all have stories, and the more you look at them, I'm happy with this because this isn't all that beat up. There's some problems here. That's part of the electrical. Somebody did an on-the-fly welding job, which sure as shit worked, but it's not what we're gonna keep. And so there's some things I've got to look at here about modifying, and that's where this really cool dude Neil comes in, because I found the right guy, and Neil's it. But I was looking for an upgrade of this electrical system, and everyone I talked to was kind of not. And Neil is the guy that does it. I looked at a number of his bikes that he's done it to, and he comes in with modern electrical components and just rewires. And so we've got an old stator-driven magneto. I mean, you create electricity, they'll stator into the magneto off to the spark plugs through the timing and the coil. But then we take the electrics from that and run the lights. Now, I'm no electrician, but as I have said with this bike, it's been upgraded so it could be a good night runner. So the 12 volt got dropped in it. And so it worked for the wrong reasons. So this guy, Neil, will be able to put in a modern system here so that forevermore, and this goes in line with what I was waffling on about the old paint here. On the outside, it'll be a resto mod. You open it up, you see the modern electrics, but there'll still be a bit of the original paint on it, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm not sure where we are with this. My hands are oily, and I got a feeling I got to walk away from that and go read the manual a little bit. If I worry it, I'll damage it. So